ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्दा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्दा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुविघ्नेश्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 11, verse number 37. Nobody wants fan? Everybody is okay? So it says Krishna is continuing to reply to Uddhava's question about the... No, you also try to them. It's fine. You can. So he's explaining the behavior of a devotee, the characteristic of devotee he defined, and how does he function day-to-day life. So for that he is explaining how he engages in devotional activities. So it says Yatra Bali Vidhanam cha Sarva Varshik Parvasu Vediki Tantriki Diksha Madi Evrat Dharanam. So he says Yatra. Yatra means festival for Bhagwan, taking him out like Rath Yatra is there. And Bali Vidhanam. So Bali generally means offering. So offering of flowers, offering of food, etc. So and then Sarvika Varshik, Sarva Varshika Parvasu. The various Parvas are there, festivals. So like Janmashtami or Ekadashi or Narsingh Chaturdasi, Ram Navami or Purnima. So to do festival on those days to celebrate. So that is the activities in which a devotee engages. Then he says Vediki, Tantriki, Diksha. And also taking Diksha is important. It's one of the first steps to enter in path of bhakti. This Diksha is of two types, Vediki and Tantriki. So Vediki means taking Diksha in like in Gayatri Mantra, Vedic Mantra. Tantriki is all this Gopal Mantra, Kam Gayatri, this is Tantriki Diksha. Because these mantras come from tantras. Then Madhya Vrata Dharanam. Following the vratas related to Krishna, taking vows. Vrata does not only means just some fasting, etc., but also certain principles that you wake up, you chant mantras, that is also vrata. Following Ekadashi, eating prasad. So these are the various types of vratas Vaishnavas follow. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti comments, Sarveshu Varshikeshu Vatsar Sambandhishu Parvasu Falgun Purnimadeshu Ya Doladi Yatrastasu. So the various Parva generally is called the Purnima Amavasya, they are called Parvas. So here he is especially referring to Falgun Purnima, that is the holy festival. Then this Dole Yatra comes now in the month of Shravan. So swing festival. So they should be celebrated. So these are yearly festivals. Yearly festivals means they come once in a year. Then Bali Vidhanam. Bali Vidhanam says Vivid Vastra Alankar, Mista, Anna, Shrak-Chandan, Pushpadi, Puja Upahar Karana. So offering various types of dresses to Bhagwan, ornaments, sweets, then garland, sandalwood in the summer time, puspa. So all these various types of articles which are used in the worship. So offering them is Bali Vidhanam. Vratadini, Ekadashyadini. Vrata such as Ekadashi Vrat, Janmashtami Vrat, Radhashtami. So we have plenty of them. Vratas. So this is Vaishnava behavior. Then he says, Mama Archa Sthapne Shraddha Swatah Samhritya Chodyamaha Udyana Upavana Krida Puramandira Karmani. So to have Shraddha in establishing the deity of Bhagwan means deity installation. And Swata you do it by yourself. But if one person is unable to do that, you can also come together, make a society, take help from others, samhritya chodhyama. So with the help of others, Then there are other activities, Udyana Upavana Akrida Puramandira Karmani, to make gardens for the temple so that flowers are supplied, because in the olden days all these shops were not so common like now. You can go and just buy garland. So previous times that was not easily available things. So every temple used to have their own garden. So therefore everywhere, even now the names are there, although now there is no garden, but still you will say Govind ka Bagicha or Damodar ka Bagicha. So many places have the names, but no more gardens. So Udyan Upavan, forest, fruit gardens, Akrida, place for doing some festival for them, and Pura Mandira Karmani, to make temple like a small village around it, building a temple. So if there is a deity, then temple also is necessary. So to engage only in these activities, and in all these activities also you can do it yourself, you can also take help from others, because these are big endeavors, so they require more money, more labor. Archa Pratima, Archa means Pratima, that is the Vigraha, the form of Bhagwan. Udyanadi karane samarthe sati swateva sati anni sambhuyopi udyama. Making garden, etc. If one has the capacity to do oneself, one has the means, because it will require some land, some wealth also to plant trees, then making itself is not enough. You have to maintain it, you need to water, protect it from animals. So if one cannot do it oneself, then can also combine with other people, like people make organizations, trusts, societies. So then it can be done like that. Akridam Kridasthanam. Akridam means playground. Puram Chakra Veshtanam. Puram means city, but here it says it means actually to make like a boundary wall around the temple, so that it is protected. Sometimes you see there only temple and there is nothing around it. So it should also be protected. Sammarjan uplepabhyam sekamandala vartanaihi griha susrushanam mahyam dasvad yada mayaya. So they are also cleaning the temple. Maintaining temple is just like you want to maintain your house. So it requires many things. Cleanliness is one thing. So sweeping it, cleaning it. Upalepa, if there is no floor, like now we have stones, but if it is not there, then you may have to smear it with cow dung, mixing cow dung with mud, then plaster it. So that has to be done regularly, if not every day, once a week, 10 days. So that is called upalepa. Then seka mandala vartanai, also seka means watering. So if it is not floored, there may be like path which may have sand in it, so sprinkle water so that it's not dusty. Mandal Vartanai, making these designs in front of the temple, like it's very common in South India. Every day in the morning they make this mandala, what they call it? Rangoli. But in South India they call it something else. So they make it in front of the house. So it's also made in front of the temple. So that is called Mandal Vartam. And then griha susrushanam mahiyam. So he says, doing seva in my house, my temple, dasvad yadamaya, like a servant. It's like in rich people, they have servants to do the work in the house. So devotee is like a servant in the temple. So therefore it says dasvat. So dasvat, why dasvat? Because das may be maintained by the master. But here you do it as seva. Don't expect anything. And yad amayaya. That is very important. It should be done sincerely, without some hidden motive. Because people also do seva with some motive behind it. They gradually want to, come to some position or power in the temple so that they can have some control, then utilize the benefit or donations of the temple for one's personal uses. So therefore he says amayaya. So amaya vritya means there should be no cheating propensity. Maya here means cheating. Some hidden motive should not be there. It should be purely for the sake of seva. So that's also the word dasvat is used, because dasa has his hidden agenda. Then he says amanitvam adambhitvam kritasya parikirtanam api deepavalokam me no pinjyat niveditam. So this is a very important sloka. So first he says amanitvam. So amanitvam means not having what you call honor for oneself. I want respect. People should respect me. I'm a senior devotee, so all the juniors should respect me. So that should not be the mood of the devotee. If they respect, that is their good-heartedness. But one should not have expectations. So therefore it says amanitvam. The next one is more important than that. It says adambhitvam. Dambha means to make a show. So what is making show? To try to prove yourself that you are a great bhakta. Because on the path of bhakti, that is the show. I am very surrendered, I am very advanced, I am very realized, I am very knowledgeable. I have had darshan of Bhagwan. If not physically, at least he came in my dreams. Right? You hear all these stories like that. And then advertise it. Now social media. So write your story or make a small video. So that is that kind of dambh is not there in the devotee. Then the next one is also there. Kritasya parikirtanam. If you do some seva, then you want a recognition for that. He says, nobody said thank you to me. Nobody appreciated my seva. I did so much seva, but nobody said a word of praise for me. So if you are expecting praise, then it is not seva, then it is business. Because the outcome of seva is only seva. Seva leads to seva. You do seva, you got more seva. You will never be unemployed. Unemployment is a very big problem these days, right? They are saying that AI is replacing everybody's jobs. Why is it? Because they don't want to do seva. If you do seva, then AI will not take away your job. And you'll get more job. But now because people don't want to do seva, then God said, okay, let AI take. So AI is because of lack of devotion in the society. So he says, kritasya parikirtanam, that one should not try to flaunt one's seva. It's like they say that the best charity or donation is that which is done secretly, that nobody should know. In Hindi there is saying that if you give with your right hand, even the left hand should not know that the right hand gave. What to speak of someone else. So left hand, right hand, they're buddies. They're together, right? So he says that if one of them does charity, the other one should not know. So seva also should not be done with this intention that somebody should appreciate, my name should come, my name should be announced. Not like that. Otherwise, it is not seva then. So therefore he says, kritasya aparikirtanam. Don't do kirtan. Then he says, api deepavalokam me nopyunjat. This is very interesting. In the previous time, there was no electricity. So at night, you have to use lamp, oil lamp, ghee lamp. We use the word lamp. I don't know what was the original word in English, because now lamp we say this with the bulb. So they used to have this diya, deepak, which is the word used, deepa here. So deepa is used also in arti, right? In deepdan you offer light. So after that is done, then still it is not going to be extinguished. So you use it for something else, for reading, for bringing light in the room. So he says, no, don't do that. So that's why in Hari Bhakti Vilas there is a statement that after you do the arti with the lamp, then extinguish it. So this is the reason. I think Sanatana Goswami got this from here, or maybe in some other Shastra also mentioned, but at least Bhāgavatam says, api divalokam me no upyunjat. He says, even the lamp which has been offered to me, don't use it for your own sake. So the idea is that anything which is used in the service of Bhagwan, then it should not be utilized by us unless you use it as prasad. That is a different thing. You offer food, then you take prasad, but not that you utilize. So therefore it says, nopyunjyat niveditam. Means anything which has been offered to me, then don't use it for yourself. So this is especially applicable to money. That if money is offered by people to him, then it should be used only for him and not for oneself. So this now is big corruption case going on about Ram temple. That's so much money they have swindled from the donation box. So this is a very big sin, very big offense. So Krishna himself is speaking about it, knowing well the mind of people, not devotees. So sammarjanam trinadhulyadi apsaranam. So sammarjan means to remove the dust particles, some grass, etc. Pratham gomaya mrijjalair uplepo dvitiya. So this is obviously talking when the floor is not with stone or tiles or something, means it is mud floor. So first you sweep it, then you do the upalepan, then you plaster it with cow dung, etc. Gomaya mrijjala. So gomaya means cow dung, mrit means clay made mud, jal means water, mixing all that. Ditya sthale suska iti seka, and if it is dry area, then sprinkle water. And water puspodaka is tritiya. So water in which you have put some flowers, so make it fragrant. So that can also be sprinkled after you have done the upalepa, so that there is nice fragrance. Then mandala vartanam, then you make the mandala. So he is giving the various steps, first cleaning, then plastering, then sprinkling with fragrant water, then making nice design with roli, with the rice powder, color. So Sarvato Bhadra, this is called Sarvato Bhadra in Sanskrit, Adi Nirmanam. Then Chaturtha, so this is the fourth. Tair Mahiyam Mam Grihasya Susrushnam Seva Dasvat. So this is how one does the service of Bhagwan like a servant, because people also do these things in the olden time. The houses were all mud houses. So it was a common thing every day. Every morning you sweep, lap, cleaning. So it says do. Laukikena rajkiya dasena ragya grihasya yatha yadanyadapi tadapi tatha. He said just like kings or royal people, they have their servants taking care of their house. Like that it should be done in the temple. So therefore the deity in the temple is treated like king. So he is given royal service by the devotees. That's why the kings also have this chamara, fan in the olden days. These are all royal insignia. So this is also done in the temple. Amayaya bala vitta sathya rahityena. Amayaya, he also says two things here, bal and vitta. So physical strength, so one has physical strength, good health to do the seva, but he takes the pretext, I am sick, I feel weak, I cannot do, or I am triggered if nothing else. Right? So, and then there is a vitta satya. Means I have the money, but I don't want to spend it for any festival or dresses or ornament. So that should not be the case. And the seva is also, there is vittaja seva, sariraja seva. So some people only employ servants to do service in the temple, but they don't do it physically themselves. So that's why it says dasvat, that one should feel oneself as the servant. Not that you just employ people, build temple and then you leave a pujari to do the seva. So God is not pleased with that. So one has to do oneself. Of course, if one is having many other things to take care, then one can do, but still one should feel oneself servant, like we hear about Ambrish Maharaj. That how he engaged himself in the service. So his mind, Mana Krishna Padaravindo, hands in cleaning the temple, nose in smelling the flowers offered to Bhagwan, eyes to look at him, Linga Darshanam. So he was personally, being a king, doing seva for the Bhagwan. Like in Rath Yatra, in the olden time, the king will come and sweep. Now it has just become a symbolic thing. The king is coming and he just does like a show and then goes. But in the olden time, the king actually felt like that. They were devotees and considered themselves as servant of Bhagavan. Then amanitvam anahankara. So amanitva means egoless, prideless, not having pride. I'm big, great devotee. Adambhitvam loke mithya svabhakti khyapan rahityam. So on the adambhitva means that not having the tendency to propagate oneself as a great bhakta, to promote oneself. So in the olden days there was not much facility to do that, but now a lot of facility is there to promote yourself as a great devotee. So he says this is not the symptom of a devotee. Then he says, Me mahyam niveditam deepavlokam api nopyunjyat. As far as things which belong to him, to Bhagavan, to the deity, they should be only for him. They should not be used for oneself. So he says that even the deepa, even the lamp which has been offered, should not be used for one's own sake. Dattasya annader deepasya cha swavyavahar matra upyogo na kartavya. So if you have offered some food, of course if you are in the temple and you are full time, then you take that. But if you offer something in the temple, then let it be in the temple and they do what they want to do. So it should not be for my vyavahar, upyoga na kartavya. किंतु परमार्थ सिद्धि अर्थम वैष्णवेभ्यो दत्वा स्वयं उपभंजित एव. So he says, for attaining spiritual perfection, one can offer these things to Vaishnavas and then one can utilize oneself. So that can be done. For that he cites two slokas. षड्भिर मासोपवासैश्च यत् फलं परिकीर्तितं विष्णु नैवेद्य सिक्तेन पुण्यम तद भुंजताम कलौ. The benefit which you get for fasting for 6 months, you get that benefit by eating prasad, food which has been offered to Vishnu. This is in Kali Yuga. हृदय रूपम मुखम नाम नैवेद्य मुदरे हरे पादोदकम च निर्माल्यम मस्तके यस्य स्वच्छता. So he says, one who has the form of Bhagavan in one's heart, the name of Bhagavan in one's mouth, and prasad of Bhagavan in one's belly, and the foot wash and the garland on one's head, that person becomes infallible. Means no maya can trouble such a person. Ityadi vachnebhya. So these are the statements which explain how we have to deal with the deity and all things offered to him. What should be offered to him? Very important sloka. They are very practical verses and they are spoken by Krishna himself. He says, Yad yadishtama loke yasya priya atmana tattad nivedayan mahyam tadanantyaya kalpate. So he says, what is the best in the world and what is also dear to you, offer that to me, and that will give you unlimited benefit. So this sloka is interpreted in by different commentators little differently. So Vishwanath Chakravarti has his explanation. So he says that loke shastre cha yad yad ishtatamam. So although in the sloka there is no shastra, here it shows yad yad ishtatamam loke, means what is considered as good or best. Ishtatamam means most desirable, whether it is food or cloth or dress, what people like. So that should be offered to me. But he is adding Vede also here, means Shastra also. That what is considered as the best in Shastra and in the Loka, in the world also. Not just what is best in the world. So this is his commentary. Tanmahyam nivedayat. So what is the significance of this? So significance of this is that some things may be very much praised in the Shastra, but they are not used in the Loka. So they don't offer that. Or something is very much praised in the Loka, but not in Shastra. So don't offer that. This is what he means by this. Otherwise, some things may be very popular in the Loka, right? Some noodles, choodles, Maggie, something like that. So he says, take care of this both here. So he says, Tena darbha manjaryadini shastra vihitani api loke ishtamatva bhavat. So he says that there is a grass, darbha, dub grass, durb. So the manjari that also comes on that. He says it is praised in Shastra, but in the material world nobody uses it. So therefore don't offer this, because it is only in Shastra, not in Loka. Then there is another one which is mentioned in Shastra, but not Madhyadini Sankarshan Priyani api Shastram Ishtamatva Bhavat. So wine is very popular in the Loka, right? Everywhere wine. They call dining and wining. Wining and dining, right? Wine and dine. So he says, but it is not popular in Shastra. So don't offer wine also. Smoking, very popular. Bhang, right? These are very common, popular things. So he says they should not be offered. So he says both you have to see. And then there is a third factor, that it is approved by Shastra, it is popular in the world also, and it is your dear also. You also like it. So then that is very nice. So then that means you are not excluded. You can also have nice Mahaprasad. So therefore he says, Yascha Atmana Swasya Ati Priyam Tattu Visheshto Nir. So that which is liked by you, that specifically should be offered. Now here there is a little trick, because the word swa has got many meaning. Swa means self. Atmana means one's own. So whose self? Is it Krishna's self or our self? Does it mean that which is very dear to Krishna? It is approved by Shastra, it is also, people like it, and it is also very dear to Krishna himself. Because there may be many things which are approved in Shastra, but they may not be favorite of Krishna. So is it that or is it the person who is offering? So this is not clear. So you can take the benefit of doubt as you like, Because even when he comments, he says, Yacha Atmana Swasya Ati Priyam. So Swasya means who is Swa? Is it the person who is offering it or is it Bhagwan himself? Tattu Visheshto Nivedniyam. So he says that must be offered. Purushottam Prabhu, make it clear now what it means.
I have related to two questions. Suppose I like Karela sabji. Should I offer it to Karela sabji?
Karela sabji? Yeah.
Bitter.
Yeah, offer it.
Then should I offer it to not? Or if I like dark chocolate, should I offer it to the not?
Dark chocolate is not mentioned in Shastra. But maybe he likes it because he says, Swasya Priyamatmana. So anyway, it just gives a guideline. So Suryo Agnir Brahmane Gavo Vaishnava Kham Marujjalam Bhuratma Sarvbhutani Bhadra Puja Padani Me. So now he is saying that besides my Archa, which he mentioned there are some other places where also he can be worshipped. Unlike now where temples are, many places available, very common even in the West. But in the previous times, temples were not such a common thing, because it was a lot of, effort, money required, and facilities were not there. So then he says he can also be worshipped in these places, in the sun, in the fire, in the Brahmana, in the cow, in Vaishnava, in the sky, in the air, in the water, in the earth, and also one's own Atma, yourself. So Sarvabhutani, Atma Sarvabhutani, Atma of everybody, including your own self also. So he says these are the places of my worship.
Baji, in the previous verse, when he is telling that something that is accepted, glorified in Shastra, but it is not in Loka Vyavahara. So here Loka means who? I mean, Loka, does it mean Shastravadis, or like he's talking in like general sense?
No, in general.
Because in general sense, people will do so many things that Shastra glorifies, but like, they will not do.
Like what?
I'm trying to... For example, let us say that in one particular part, they're offering, blue clothes to Krishna, or they're offering dhoti, but this is not Loka Vyavahara. Say in USA, for example, nobody has heard of dhoti in USA. So then should we not offer dhoti through Bhagavan?
No, but it is... Okay, you are saying that it is not popular.
Popular, yeah.
Yeah, so popular, obviously, he is talking about Vedic culture.
Vedic, yeah, that's what.
Because when the book is written, he is not considering. Or when Krishna is speaking, there was no genes available. Otherwise, he would have said that. So, Puja Padani, he gave the places of worship. So, Tvam Kutra Pujayeti Apekshayam Ekadas Pujadisthani Aha Suryeti. So, where can I worship you? If Uddhava asks this question. So, he says that there are 11 places. My place of worship, beginning with the sun, fire, Brahmana, and so on. So, these are the places. Surya tu Vidyayatraya Havishagno Yajetamam Athityena tu Vipragre Gosvanga Yavasadina. Now he is saying how they have to be worshipped. Now because he is to be worshipped in these places, it is not that he is worshipped in the same way. So each one, what you give to Brahmana, that is not for the cow, and what you give to cow, that is not for the Brahmana. You can say, well, I am worshipping Krishna and cow, so I give here laddu, and I am worshipping Brahmana also, I give him some grass. So not like that. So it says Surya tu Vidya Traya. So the sun is, in sun he is worshipped by Trai Vidya, means through three Vedas, like chanting of Gayatri. And Havishagnau Yajetamam. And in fire you worship me by offering Havi, pouring oblations, ghee, sesame seed, etc. with chanting of mantras. And Atithyena tu Vipragde. And in the Brahmana, so you invite, feed him nicely, that is his worship. And Goswanga Yavsadina. And in the cow, give them nice green grass to eat. And Vaishnava Bandhu Satkritya. And in the Vaishnava, be friendly and respectful to him. So Bandhu friendly, Satkrit means Satkar, giving respect. And Hriday Khe Dhyana Nishtaya. And when it was said that worshipping him in the sky, so sky here means sky of the heart. So there by meditation. So meditating on him. And Vayu Mukhya Dhiya, and Vayu with the Mukhya Dhi means seeing him as the prana, means the life air sustaining our life. And Toye Dravya, and water, you put some dravyas. So basically offering water into water, like going to the river, taking water and pouring it back. So dravya toya puraskritai. So water and then maybe some flower, etc. can be offered. So this is how the worship has to be done in different places. So tatra adhishtitam svaistadevam kena prakarena pujayet iti apekshayamaha. So how one's own worshipable form Bhagwan is to be worshipped in these different places which he listed, it is being described here. Surya iti tribhi traya vidya suktair upasthapana namaskaradina. So in sun god he is to be worshipped by the Traividya, the suktas, there are suktas, Purush Sukta, etc. in the Vedas. Upasthan, worship, namaskar, bowing down. Yavsadina, Trin Pradhan, Kanduyanadibhi. And then rest he does not comment, but for cow he says that he should be given grass. And you can also scratch cows like that. So that is also worshipping Bhagavan through them. Then Bandhu Satkritya Sviya Bandhau Iva Asakti Purvak Sammananine. So giving him respect just like you respect your friend or relative. Hriday Khe Swahirday Akase Dhyanina. And in the sky of the heart, you meditate on him. Mukhya Dhiya Pranoya Mukhya iti Buddhya. Mukhya Dhi in the Vayu means that this is the chief air, the Pranavayu. And Toye Dravya Jalpuspa Tulasyadibhi. The water, you can offer tulsi leaves, flowers, and water also. So this is how he is to be worshipped in these places. Then he said Arth. So there he says Thandile Mantra Hridyai Bhogair Atmanam Atmani Kshetragyam Sarvabhutesu Samatvena Yajetamam. So Thandile is earth. So earth here refers to like you make some altar with the mud and then you worship there with the mantras, chanting of the mantras. Then there was also Atma. So Bhur Atma Sarvabhutani. So how to worship Atma? So he says Atmanam Atmani Bhogair. So to giving some food etc. to the body and saying that this is to worship Bhagwan who is situated in the Atma, which is in the body. And in all other living beings, Kshetragyam Sarvabhutesu Samatvena Yajetamam. That he is situated as Kshetragya in all living beings. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarvkshetresu bharata. Krishna says in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that in all the bodies I am also situated as Kshetragya. Means as in Paramatma. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta I am situated. So he is also means one can also respect Paramatma in every living being. So this is how he can be worshipped in all beings. So Sthandite, Sthandile, Pralipta Sanskritayam Bhuvi. Sthandil here refers to the altar made from earth which has been cleaned and smeared. Mantra Hriday Rahasya Mantra Nyasai. By putting mantra nyas on your body, you worship that. Then Atmani Dehe Atmanam Jivam. You worship your own self in the body by giving bhoga. Ayam mama atmapi mat prabhor adhishtanam iti buddhya. So you feed yourself thinking that my master, my Lord is situated in my Atma and I am worshipping him through that. Iti dattair bhogena natu lobhena. But not that you are greedy to eat yourself. And then you say, I am eating this because Bhagavan is being worshipped by this. So he says, natu lobhena. And sarvabhuteshu kshetragyam antaryaminam yajet. And in all living beings, you worship the antaryami, the immanent being, the Paramatma, who is situated in all. Dhishanyeshu iti madrupam sankha chakra gadambujaihi yuktam chaturbhujam shantam dhyayan archeta samahitaha. So he says one should meditate in all these places which I have mentioned in my four-armed form which holds a conch, a disc, a club, a lotus flower, who is looking very peaceful, means he is very shant, very relaxed. So he is worshipped with samahita, with concentrated mind, with focused mind. So one can meditate on the four-armed form when one is worshipping him in sun, in fire, in water, earth, wherever. So ityeshu iti anena prakarena eshu dhishanyeshu chaturbhujam iti praikatvena uktam. So he says when it is said that one should worship my four-armed form in these places, so he says this is made a general statement. But if somebody is devotee of some specific form of Bhagavan, then he or she should meditate on that specific form of Bhagavan, whatever it is. Like he says, Vastutaha Sri Ramadi Upaska api swasva mantra dhyayam sarupamera. So in reality, if one is a worshipper of Rama or Nrsimhadev or Krishna, then whatever is one's upasya, worshipable, then one should meditate on that particular form and not only the four-handed form. So if it is two-handed, then meditate on two-handed form. Ishta purtena mamevam yo yajeta samahitaha labte mayi sadbhaktim mat smriti sadhu sevaya. So he says, in this way, one who worships me with focused mind through the process of Ishta and Apurta, then he attains my pure devotion, my remembrance by doing service to the sadhus. So Ishta and Purta, Apurta, these are technical terms. Ishta means doing yajna, etc. Vedic process is called Ishta. Apurta means to do activities of welfare like making places for people to drink water, digging wells, or making roads, or some garden for people to use. So this is called Apurta. So here of course this should be done, that through this I am worshipping Bhagavan. In the Smriti Shastra they are just activities of good karma. But here, because he is a devotee, so he does that, because he said that you worship also all living beings. So you serve them with the intention that this is pleasing to Bhagavan. So if one does that and the one does sadhu seva, then one will attain sadbhakti, pure devotion to Bhagavan. इष्टापूर्तेन इति इष्टम हविषाग्नौ यजेत माम इति उपलक्षितम पूजादिकम. So Ishtam refers to already what Bhagavan said, that you worship me in fire by pouring oblations. So that itself is a Ishta part here. And Purtam was also mentioned earlier. Remember he says Udyan Upavan. So these are all activities in the Smriti Shastra, they are called Purta. So Ishta Purta. So Purtam Udyan Upavan ityadi uktam. So they are already spoken. Tena sadbhaktim satim uttamam prenlakshanam. So then when one will attain sadbhakti. So sadbhakti here means prem lakshana bhakti. Anyamamta, sunyamamta, prema sangata. Iti uktam bhakti uchyate bhisma prahlada naradai. So this prem lakshana bhakti he will attain. Now he gives another meaning to Mat Smriti. Mat Smriti can mean that he will have my memory, my remembrance. But he says that Mat Smriti here means Mat Kartarika Smriti. He says that then Bhagavan will remember the devotee. Not the devotee is remembering Bhagavan, but if you do this, then he will remember you. So like sometimes people ask that keep me in your prayers. Right? So then Bhagavan will keep you in his prayers. That is Mat Smriti. This is very special meaning he is given. So sadhu sevya iti yastu sadhuna adhikyena sevate tvam tu aham sada smrami ityartha. And sadhu sevya is mentioned here. So he says that one who does sadhu seva, service to the Vaishnavas, he says I specifically remember him. So means among all types of service which was done in the air, in the fire, in the water, in the earth, in the sun, etc., then Brahmana and Vaishnava was there. So doing Vaishnava seva, that is most pleasing to him. That is the meaning of sadhu sevya. So we'll stop here if there is any question to ask. पेन गायब कर दिया यहाँ से. संदीप जी.
Pranam Babaji Maharaj. So actually I have two questions. First is that the slogan we did today, is it Stan Kal Patra restrictions apply, or because he's saying for building temples and playgrounds, etc. And normally in today's times, if we see, if you even if a lot of people get together and build a temple, then maintaining it is much more requires much more funds than the previous time. As I understood in previous times, normally when this temple was built, so the pujari there, people used to donate cow and some land also, so that he could do farming and do whatever this from the cow he could get the milk, etc. Whatever. So is it because also in Kali Yuga it is said that the dharma is Nam Sankirtan. So I just wanted to understand this point. Like, is it specific to Treta Yuga?
No, there is no such thing that it is specific to Treta Yuga, but as we know that there are many activities of devotion, so they are being listed here. Everybody cannot do everything, it is not possible. So according to one's capacity, you do it. So if one does not have the capacity, then do other things. There are so many things mentioned. That's why he mentioned 11 places of worship besides deity worship. If you cannot do that, then worship like that. Otherwise, what was the need of telling all these various places? Since he already spoke about temple and establishing archa, so these are options. And
Second question was regarding this, like little confusion on what is to be offered. So what is the final? Because different views and what is pleasing to you, and in scriptures, or only pleasing to you, or
just
only
offer
scriptures,
vegetarian food. Simple. Why are you making it complicated?
or like now this pasta and all these things have also come up. Pasta, pizza, etc.
Yeah, if you make at home, that is one thing, but buy from outside, it's all impure. I already said, give me the best. So I don't even recommend eating these things. What to speak of offering to Bhagavan? If you make home, because outside things, there are always chemicals and who knows what all is put in that. Doesn't mean even if it is written, they don't write everything. Sometimes they just write one number. Then you look that. So who is doing that? When you look at the number, you get surprised. Okay.